Hey there, Year 10. Happy Friday. I hope we're all okay. Hope we've all had a relatively good week as well as we can. I hope you've got lots of stuff planned for the weekend. The light in the classroom's just gone off, so my mood lighting has just gone up a touch. Ooh. I'm obviously pushing a lot of you to get out there and get outside and be a little bit more mindful. I had a great chat with a load of the council form reps on one of the days this week. I think it was Wednesday, and we were just sort of discussing things that we can start doing a little bit more of whilst we're in school, and a few of them came up with some great suggestions that no doubt they're going to want to feed back to you all in form time. But one of them came up with the idea of obviously getting in line with what I'm thinking and how I'm trying to sort of live my life a lot more these days, and that is being a little bit more mindful, looking after our well-being. And I know I do keep banging on about it, but the weekend gives us such an opportunity to get back in touch with who we are, because I think we get a little bit of an identity loss because we're sat behind a screen, and it can feel a little bit, a little bit unnatural, can't it, that we're not engaging in actual conversations. So when I say to you, go and have a chat with your family members, pick the phone up and have an actual conversation with someone instead of typing on your phones. I think it's really, really important. And I don't just say that because I'm like your year progress leader and somebody's told me to say it. I say it because it will really help you develop who you are, and it'll help you manage all of these things that might come up in our life as we progress through the life, because stresses and strains and stuff will always be there, won't they? We'll always have these external factors that we have to come into contact with, and if you can sort of learn a little bit more about yourself, which is what you do when you are being mindful and engaging in these mindful conversations and stuff that I'm asking you to, you learn a lot more about who you are, and then you can learn how to deal with all these situations that are thrown at us. COVID is a very extreme one, but there is always going to be some form of stress that comes up in your life. It's inevitable. It's just learning how to obviously cope with those. Friday always gives us a bit of an opportunity to start planning what it is we're going to be doing for the weekend. I know I do. I start looking at Friday as an opportunity for me to think, right, what can I be doing this weekend? Can I get back in touch with a couple of friends that perhaps have been messaging me through the week and I haven't replied to them because I've been busy, or I just haven't had a chance to get in touch. And sometimes I don't like to just do a flippant reply back. I like to spend a bit of time of conversing, and sometimes that leads to me maybe giving them a phone call, like I say, that, pick up the phone and have an actual conversation with someone. There's a couple of things that I want to talk about today in terms of obviously where we are up to and in preparation for coming back. The news announcement, obviously, on Monday, Boris started talking about his roadmap and looking forward into, points across the year of what's going to happen, hopefully, and when. And obviously the first thing that we've noticed is schools back on the 8th of March. Now, currently, plans are being put in place for that. I'm not privy to those plans as yet because they're always changing. So there's lots of phone calls being made all over the place to try and get key information to then pull it together and then put it into such a format that we can then deliver it to you guys and to your families and to the people that you live with. So I just want to reassure you that information will come out. You will get the information at the time that you need to, in for preparation, obviously, for that Monday. I'm gonna guess it's probably going to be at some point during next week, if not today, but it will happen. And I want to just make sure that you don't worry too much about that. Like I said on Monday, the main priority for me is for getting you back in, so you can start your learning more of a formal setting. Although I think the virtual learning has been spot on, and I keep praising you all for how much you're turning up and you're getting involved in the virtual lessons. It's not as, it's better to see you face to face. So the ultimate goal for school was to get you all back in as quick as we can. So this is a positive from our point. And then we just need to make sure, obviously, you're safe and that we're looking after you as well on top of that. So I don't want you to panic. Everything is being put in place as we speak. So, you know, at this moment in time, I just haven't got the information to give you just yet, but we will. All right. Second to that, then, I think it might be a really, really good opportunity this week leading up. Now, I know some of you may have already done this. Try your uniform on. You know, that might be a good point because you're growing all the time. Some of your clothes you may have outgrown. So over this point between now and obviously next week, you need to be checking if there's anything that you need to get a replacement of. Dig out your Key to Success folders because they're going to be really important for when you come back in, because hopefully it's going to be crammed full of all of the work that you've been doing to then pass on to your teachers to put in your books and stuff. Make sure you've got all of your equipment. It's simple really, isn't it? You need a pen. If you're going to be in school, you're going to need to be able to write. So get yourself your pens, your pencils. Why you guys don't all have pencil cases is unbeknown to me, because you all lose your equipment because you chuck them in your pockets or the bottom of your bag. Get a pencil case, just chuck it all in there. It keeps it all together. It's like people who carry cash in their pockets and don't have a purse or a wallet, and then they lose a tenner. And it's like, well, of course you are, because it's in your pocket. Put it in a purse. You know, it's simple stuff like that, isn't it? Get yourself a pencil case. Get yourself your equipment that you need. You know, rulers, rubbers, pencils, pens, your purple pen, highlighters, all of those things that help you excel and obviously learn. And then just make sure you're getting back into those habits. I do this in the 6 weeks holidays, but you know, I'm a bit of a geek, but the week before, I start to put my alarm on a little bit earlier each day to get me back into that habit of not lying in, because it's really easy, isn't it? We've been just having to rock up at 5 to 9 and just turn our computers on or our laptops or our iPads or whatever. And we've not been having to really go anywhere other than from the bed to maybe the kitchen to get a cup of tea. And then, you know, it's not that far. So you're going to need to start getting up a lot earlier, get back into those routines. So I'd be maybe setting my alarm next week in preparation for that. Start going to bed a lot earlier. It doesn't mean, you know, sleep is so important. And adults don't just say that because they're boring. They say that because it's key to your development, and it's key for your growth, and it's key for your mental health. So, you know, get yourself back into those routines, get into habits of going to bed a lot earlier. Maybe the structures of your lunch times as well, so you're not sitting and eating your food whilst you're on a lesson. So have an actual lunch time away from the screen this week if you haven't been doing so already, and just really getting back into those basics. We're going to give you a good week to get that ready, so when we come in on the 8th of March, you've got everything, you know, sorted and you're good to go. Okay. I think it would be a good point to obviously just keep reminding you that if you haven't done so already, Mr. Roberts has put up a few challenges for your lockdown challenges. Let's crack on with those. Let's see if we can get those up and running. I don't want to be the year group where everybody says, oh, year 10 haven't done enough, because nobody wants to hear that. And I don't think you are, but I don't want us to sort of fall into that sort of pattern in this last week. Keep up the momentum for next week as well. You know, I've noticed the chat has slowly sort of dipped off a little bit. So make sure that you're keeping that momentum up within your lessons, chatting away to your teachers, saying hello, how are you? You know, having an engaging conversation as well within the chat. If you're allowed the mics on, if your teacher's allowing that, obviously do so. If not, then we're not going to make you. But just your politeness, guys. I keep talking about this, don't I? And going back to that, it costs nothing to be kind. It costs nothing to be polite. These are things that, you know, will help you feel good about yourself as well. And we talk about these random acts of kindness. There's a reason for why we do them. It's because selfishly it makes us feel good as well. So if you just drop your teacher a hi, how you getting on? Hi, hun. Maybe not that. But just a general hi, miss, how are you? Hi, sir, how was your weekend? It actually goes massive. Like, so you wouldn't even understand the feelings that, like, it gives a teacher. It's just like it's like a little virtual hug. and it will mean a lot for some teachers, definitely, guys. If you just drop in and in the chat, go, hey, how's your weekend been? And see if you get any response back. Again, so just reiterating what I've started off by saying, make sure that you get out this weekend. It is hopefully going to be a good weekend. The sun's shining through these windows here. It's great in school at the moment. There's a nice little sort of buzz around because obviously we're excited to see you all. So get yourselves outside this weekend. Fill those lungs full of all that wonderful oxygen and that fresh air and the greatness that there is to be had by being outside. And just make sure you look after yourselves and take it easy over this weekend, and then back in on the Monday, straight into those virtual lessons. Engage in those chats with your friends and your family. Maybe come downstairs now after finishing listening to this and go and ask a family member or somebody that you live with, do they want a cup of tea? Because everybody loves a cup of tea being made for them. All right, listen, take it easy, and I shall catch up with you all at some point, no doubt, next week. Take care, guys.